So this time I'm actually not talking about a series, which is new for my channel lately, because I feel like I've talked about like the Skyland trilogy, and I've talked about Oathbound, my gosh, The Legendborn saga. Today I'm not talking about either of those. I'm actually talking about some of the books that have made me cry the most or made me feel the most. The primary one I want to talk about is Normal People by Sally Rooney. This is a book that I'm sure you've seen anywhere on the internet, be it on Pinterest because you are a quote following girly like me, or on BookTube, Bookstagram, BookTok, whatever other social media book combination is out there that I'm not aware of right now. If you have seen this book, I'm not surprised. Sally Rooney wrote Normal People about Connell and Marianne, who are two young adults. I guess they're high schoolers when they first meet, but they're young adults who have an electrifying, magnetic, instant kind of connection with each other. But it's not instantly love, it's just an instant fascination that grows into something bigger and more intense and deeper and stronger. And it's nurtured by both of them in different ways. I like to liken their relationship to what it feels like to nurture a fire. If you have ever had to grow a campfire, when you are nurturing other things, you just know it needs more love. Like it needs more love, it needs more water, it needs more food to grow, and space, maybe a little bit of space. But when you're trying to make a fire happen, you need to like maybe smother it a little bit, and it has to be like at the perfect distance from like wind, but don't completely take the wind out of it, because it needs a little bit of that. And so it's just like there's so many intricacies into building a really strong and healthy fire, and I feel like that is what the relationship between Connell and Marianne is in this book. And it's beautifully written. There are quotes from this book that I absolutely adore that have stuck with me forever. I'm sure you've all seen the most famous one. It's at the very end of the book when they are realizing that Connell is going to go away. If this is a spoiler, I apologize. But I still think you should read the book, because if you read the book, you know that this ending is not a telling ending. It's just kind of, it makes you feel like there's still more. So anyway, it says, she closes her eyes. He probably won't come back, she thinks. Or he will, differently. What they have now, they can never have back again. But for her, the pain of loneliness will be nothing to the pain that she used to feel of being unworthy. He bought her goodness like a gift, and now it belongs to her. Meanwhile, his life opens out before him in all directions at once. They've done a lot of good for each other. Really, she thinks, really. People can really change one another. You should go, she says. I'll always be here. You know that. If you've seen that quote with the graphic of the two of them sitting on the floor from the Hulu adaptation of this book, you understand the impact. It's really good. Now, if you read Normal People and you are itching for something that feels the same, then you are in luck, because there are things out there that have a similar feeling. And I collect them because I like this genre of book that I like to call decades-long situationships with complex endings. It's not an official genre, but it is one that I happen to love, and it's a favorite of mine and many of my friends. So let's talk about some of the books that feel similar. Again, these are not apples to apples comparisons, but they are books that if you were looking to feel the way you do about Marianne and Connell, then you may also like that feeling in One Day. One Day is another kind of decades-long romance. We get to follow Dexter Mayhew and Emma Morley. I don't know why I looked at the back of the book for their names like I didn't remember them. And it is the same day over the course of 20 years, and we just get to follow their interactions with each other. Again, there are those connections out there that are just really innate and really strong. I've experienced them myself. There are just people in your life who you meet and you keep them around. And sometimes you're really, really hot, sometimes you're a bit cold, but you're always there. It's always reliable. And that is Dexter and Emma. Their journey is a lot different than Connell's and Marianne's in Normal People, but it's still definitely one worth following if you're looking for that same feeling of two people over a long time. There's still some tabs in this one, not as many as Normal People, but there are those moments and quotes that really stood out, things that were said that really stuck with me. There's a little quote in here that says, they spoke very little of their mutual feelings, petty phrases and warm attentions being probably unnecessary between such tried friends. It's a different kind of love. It's romantic, it's platonic, it's romantic, it's platonic. It's always romantic. It was never platonic. It's love. It's good. It's really a highly recommended follow-up to Normal People if you're looking for something to scratch that same type of itch. And then we have one that's kind of a little farther off from that, but still, actually, I'm going to end with that one because I feel like it's much farther off. Let's talk about Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. You either love this book or you hate this book, and that's fair. It is another one that is decades-long situationships with complex endings, except this one skews more friend, but it's, the something is there, you know? Gabrielle Zevin wrote this book. It was my first introduction to Gabrielle Zevin. I know a lot of people loved The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry. I also liked that book. I didn't love it as much as I loved this one. I don't have any tabs in here because I listened to the audiobook version of it, which I do not regret. I may actually go back and read this one just so I can tab the things that really stuck with me from it, because I know that there were a lot. In this book we follow Sam and Sadie. Sam Mazer, Sadie Green, I think. Sadie Green. And they are two friends. They meet under kind of complex circumstances in their youth, tutor each other, have common interests, become friends, and then meet up again later in life. And they kind of grow together a little bit, and they go into business together, and they are exploring their teenage to young adult to adult lives together. And I will say that the theme of technology, video games, gaming in general is very heavily embedded in here. They are building a game together throughout much of this book, and so I see how it can lose people. I enjoyed learning the history of the gaming industry. I did. It was really cool. But the relationship between the two characters was really impactful for me. I think those moments stood out, and they weren't lost to me and the messaging throughout the story. There is a chapter in here that moved me to absolute tears. I cried a little bit at this book. I got choked up in Normal People. I cried big tears, big tears at a chapter in this book. And it is so beautifully written. I will not spoil it and tell you what it is about, but it's closer to the end of the book. And again, actual well-rounded, supple tears were coming from my eyes when I read this. So anyway, this is another one I would recommend. Again, I think you'll love it or you'll hate it. I would recommend giving it some time, because it's not going to be for everybody, but it's a good one. The final decades-long situationship with complex endings book is The Heart's Invisible Furies. Now this one is kind of not in the same category, I can admit. It's a little bit different than all of the others. It's one character that we follow. And so with that, you don't get another perspective, whereas in these books, you are kind of seeing how Sam and Sadie feel, how Emma and Dexter feel. This is just about Cyril Avery. Cyril Avery is adopted by the Avery family, who are the real Averys, and he just documents his life growing up with them and his experiences, understanding his sexuality as he gets older, understanding himself, his internal battles. We get a lot of time inside of his head, but his head is a comical place to be. I will say one of the things I love the most about this book is how funny it is. It's tragic and it's dramatic, like drama would be, but it's so funny. John Boyne drops in these funny little moments throughout the book that actually had me laugh out loud, and I would have to go and tell Jared the entire book up into this point just so I could be like, hey, so here's why this is hilarious, and I need you to know that he thought to put that in there because it's funny. I appreciated the comedy of the book. It's a lot longer. The text is tiny, and the book is girthy, but it is worthwhile to listen to if you are to read. I couldn't put it down over the course of several days. I also cried at this book. I cried in the middle and close to the end. But it was so good, guys. It was so good. I recommend. So these would be 4 books that have the same feeling to me. Out of this little subgenre that I've created in my mind, I think Normal People is definitely the like one, you know? But if you're looking for something that feels similar to Normal People because you read it, or if you've read one of these other books and you're looking for something that feels similar, then I would recommend the others. Definitely Normal People if you've not read that, but you have read these others. Be prepared, okay, for the epitome of decades-long situationships with complex endings. It's worthwhile. That is all today. I just really needed to get that out. I was having a not great day and I was about to start rereading when I shouldn't be. I have a whole list of books I need to read, plus an arc I need to review. But I'm feeling emotions today, and so I was gonna lean into one of my comfort babies, and these are my comfort babies. Anyway, thank you for watching if you've watched, and I will see you soon. Okay, bye.